Welcome everybody tonight to the Corral BBQ happy hour with Travel Light by JJ. Very excited tonight. We're going to be trying a new cocktail. It's the Blackberry Jalapeno Margarita, rimmed with sugar, not salt. And then we're also doing grilled mini sweet peppers with goat cheese in them and herbs. And so you're going to get to try some delicious. I've had those before and they are delicious. I like to take those to parties and serve them at parties that we have here when we're entertaining and grilling outside. And so we're going to have a fun-filled evening. We're going to be heading out Midwest and a little to the west to the Badlands, South Dakota, Mount Rushmore, to Glacier National Park in Montana, and then to Yellowstone and Jackson Hole. Eric and I, as I had mentioned, we had done a couple out west trips when we lived down in Key West, Florida, and we had, at that time, we were newly married, so we were on a budget, so we were doing the camping trip, and now we do the luxury trips instead, and stay at the 4- or 5-star lodging accommodations. But it's been a bit since we've been out west, and I'm actually looking forward to it. Going again, the national parks are so beautiful, and every time you get such a wow factor, so I really enjoy it. So we had packed up for a second trip and headed out, and while the first one was so adventure and we were all pumped up, the second one on the drive out wasn't so exciting, if you will. We had done the sleeping in the back on the air mattress and switching drivers scenario that we did when we first drove out west. And then we pulled in and Eric decided he was too tired to drive and I was already sleeping. So he let me continue to sleep and he joined me. And next thing you know, I woke up and I was horrified because there was a terrible stench in the car. And I look out and a 18-wheeler had pulled up next to us while we were sleeping, and it was full of pigs. And the smell was to die for, and not in a good way. So there you have it, and I had decided that I was so tired and I needed proper rest, and so I told Eric to take me to the closest airport and to get me on a plane, and that I would be out in Vegas and he could scoop me up there because I wasn't going to continue on with the road trip. But anyway, he talked me down from my ledge and we continued on. So we were off to the Badlands in South Dakota, and we were very excited to be there.
Celeste, Megan, and Meg Johnson's joining us tonight.
Well, hello. Welcome, everybody. I'm so excited for you guys to be here. We're going to be making tonight the Blackberry Jalapeno Margaritas rimmed with sugar and the grilled mini sweet peppers. So looking forward to that. And we got some great travel trivia for you tonight. See who the fastest is on the typing with the thumbs and everything. So I'm Travel Light by JJ. And I just wanted to introduce to you my company and my services. I create effortless luxury travel itineraries for inspired experiences for busy, professional, active aging travelers, and I'm also working with groups as well. So I like to curate custom itineraries, and then I like to sprinkle my travel agency special dust on it. I love to bring the soft adventure activities to an itinerary as far as doing tours, whether they be guided or self-guided, whatever you're comfortable with, and then also get you out doing walking tours and culinary experiences, and you can go around in the different villages as you're going to these different places and have taste tests, you know, where you go, and places like Rome and over in Italy, the culinary experiences are divine. So anyway, I love to add those and any other type of adventurous activities as well. Bicycling as well as hot air balloon rides are great when you're out west. Those are a lot of fun to do. And then Eric and I had taken our mountain bikes and did the mountain biking while we were out there, which turned into an adventure as well. So tonight we'll get started and get the drinks rocking and rolling. Like I said, we're going to be making the Blackberry Jalapeno Margaritas. And I had posted the amounts online. However, I'm cutting them in half because I did a test run to see how much liquid was going to fit into my canister here, and it wasn't. So with the ice, so I cut the portions in half. So you're going to be using a quarter cup of the tequila, and then a half quarter cup. So 3/8 of the tequila.
Cindy Parker just joined us from Colorado.
Cindy, how are you, my friend? Long time no see or hear. Hope you are well. Let me know what everybody's drinking tonight. Hopefully you're having a margarita as well. May not be the blackberry. I did learn today, and I'm not someone who likes labor-intensive things, whether it's baking or making anything. And this drink had a little labor-intensive because you have to strain the seeds out of the blackberry. So you make a simple syrup, which is just water, 1 cup water, 1 cup sugar, and you heat that over medium heat to make your syrup. And then you put it in a blender with the blackberries, a cup of blackberries, and then you also put in there 2 jalapenos minced. And then you strain that in a fine strainer, and then you create your blackberry juice that we'll be using, and you put it in an airtight mason jar or whatever type of container you have that's airtight. So you want to do that. And like I said, the straining process was a little more than I was willing to do. So anyway, if you're up for it, I'm sure these are going to be tasty though, so I'm looking very forward to it. So like I said, we're going to do, actually I'm doing a quarter cup and then half of a quarter. Gotta get the top off here. So we got Johnny Cash in the background here. Loving it. Has anybody been out to these areas before that we're going to talk about tonight? If so, I'd love to hear about it. And then we're going to do Grand Marnier. You need a quarter cup of the Grand Marnier, or triple sec you can use. But I like the Grand Marnier. It's much smoother. Eric, why don't we do our first travel trivia?
First travel trivia.
How the travel trivia works is whoever types the fastest and gets it in and then gets the most right, I will go ahead and look at the thread, and then tomorrow I announce the winner tomorrow. And then, so we have 4 rounds, and then we have a tiebreaker round, and then Eric will announce all the answers at the end. So good luck.
Where am I coming to? The OK Corral?
Yeah, baby.
Where are they? I'll get them.
Hey, no, we got Robert.
Oh, all right. We're not shooting.
No,
we're barbecuing.
We're barbecuing tonight. Get out of here with all that.
Sorry about that.
That wasn't authorized.
Oh, we're barbecuing.
Yeah, it's all about barbecuing.
I thought it was a shootout at the OK.
No.
All right.
I put all my jewels away. I just got the costume jewelry out tonight. You're not getting anything.
All right. Barbecue question trivia. Here we go. From the OK Corral. Who are the 4 presidents that make up Mount Rushmore National Memorial? Who are the 4 presidents that make up the Mount Rushmore National Memorial? We were there in person.
Yes.
Right? Saw that?
Yes.
All right. Question number 2. How many years did it take to construct Mount Rushmore? How many years did it take to construct Mount Rushmore? I see some villains over here. I'm going to go get them. See ya.
So you want to put a quarter cup of the freshly squeezed lime juice. So I'm doing I'll do 1.5 of the lime juice, because I like lime juice. Woo! So we were out in the Badlands in South Dakota. Oh, and a half cup of the Blackberry Jalapeno syrup. So get that going. And then you want to, like I said, use the, get it all ice in there.
Oh, we got some typers. They're going fast.
There you go. We got some 2-time winners on here tonight.
We got some new competition this week.
Oh, there you go. It's going to make it interesting. So then you put your lid on, you get it all shaken up. And then I like to put a rim on my glass. So we're doing sugar tonight. So you take your lime, cut a wedge of lime. and go ahead and get it. And I want to give a shout out today. Today's my mother's birthday. Happy birthday, Mom. Talked to her this morning. We did a video birthday wish this morning. And she's down sheltering in Key West. And my brother and his family will be with her tonight. So that will be nice. So get your glasses with your rim on it. And then you want to get your ice in there. I've been having fun each weekend making these new cocktails. They're getting very interesting. And we're having to go to the liquor store once a week. It's getting crazy around here.
Typing in the answers.
There you go.
Celeste says happy birthday to your mom too.
Thank you. Celeste had to do a shelter birthday. I don't think I could handle a shelter birthday because I celebrate the whole month of February, and that would definitely put a problem into my situation. So I'm not anticipating that we will be in any type of shelter mode then, so I'm very grateful. Eric's in the summertime, so who knows what he'll be doing. All right, Mr. Eric, here we go. Everybody get your glasses.
Wow, it looks marvelous.
And you're supposed to garnish it also with the blackberry, but I had used them all.
Thanks, Miss Julie.
Here we go.
Cheers, everyone.
Oh, wait.
Oh, wait.
I gotta stir it.
Oh.
There we go.
All right, there we go.
Cheers. Cheers. Happy Friday, everyone.
TGIF. Ooh, that's a new summer drink.
Ooh.
Enjoy. Yum.
Oh, yeah.
Yummy.
It's sweet with some heat. Yeah. That's ooh.
I like that sweet with heat.
I'm enjoying that. I've been doing the beef jerky with that salty dog cocktail that we made last weekend, and I'm loving that. I had to go get 2 bags of the beef jerky because it's delicious with the vodka and the grapefruit. Oh, telling you, it's a keeper. It's a keeper. So Eric and I went out. We started in the Badlands, and the Badlands, the Black Forest Hills, they're gorgeous. The sunrises, sunsets. We were there more towards the end of the day, and the light you see on the Badlands is just amazing. And there's so many lookout areas to drive around and see. And then you can go over to Mount Rushmore from there, which is what we did, and that's a 3-hour drive. We did a lot of outdoor concerts. There was a lot of folk music festivals going on, and we just had our chairs, and we also did some B&Bs in addition to the camping, so we did that as well. So we went and we decided to do this drive-through animal area, and we had our mountain bikes on the top, and we got there and they made us sign off like as if we were going to go bungee jumping, where you have to sign your life away. So we go and we sign the forms, and basically you had to sign the forms that if you were attacked by any of the animals, because if you put your windows down, which they didn't want you to put your windows down, that you were signing off that they weren't responsible if you got attacked by these animals because you weren't following the rules. So we go and the other thing is we had the bikes on the roof. The wolves in there, were they wolves or coyotes? They were wolves. And the wolves were attracted to the rubber. So they also wanted to note and let us know that because we weren't willing to leave the bikes behind. So we drove in, going through slow, and you're driving through this scene and you're looking at everything. And when the wolves start circling our car, and they're circling our car. So I'm like, Eric, drive on. You know, I was afraid they were going to jump on the hood and get up in the bicycles, and we had the sunroof up there. So then we go into the next area, and we leave the wolves behind, and we get into the next area, and the area is all these bears, and it's just like 100 bears. It was because how many bears? So we're in there. I bought Eric for our wedding a camcorder, one of the ones that you hold and you could look at the screen and everything, and not have to have it up at the eye thing. So we're in there, and next thing you know, he sits down on his leg, and we are working with the security people watching you, and Eric down, and we're chatting about, amongst ourselves about what we're seeing and what's going on. We couldn't believe, we're like, is it mating season? What's happening here? Next thing you know, we're getting yelled at because Eric had the window down to put the window up and everything. Well, after we got back from the trip and we were there showing family on a rainy day our videos, next thing you know, we're trying to figure out what we're looking at, and the camera was on Eric's leg and it kept trying to zoom in, but it was zooming in on the hair on his thigh and like on the follicles, the hair follicles. And everybody's like, what is that? What is that? And it was only from the commentary did Eric and I both realize where it was and what was going on. Eric thought he turned the camera off, and instead he's getting all of our reaction to what we're looking at, which was hysterical. And everybody's like, what is going on? Because again, they're not seeing what we're seeing and they're only hearing what we're seeing. So it was crazy. But we got out of there and survived it, and the animals didn't take us out, and they didn't eat our rubber off our tires, and we didn't get attacked. So we moved on and had a lot of fun. So Eric, let's do some more travel trivia.
More travel trivia.
All right, get ready.
Barbecue travel trivia round number 2. Here we go. In Glacier National Park, what are Grinnell, St. Mary, Two Medicine, and McDonald? In Glacier National Park, what are Grinnell, St. Mary, Two Medicine, and McDonald? Question number 2. What is the highest erupting geyser in Yellowstone and the world?
Ooh.
What is the highest erupting geyser in Yellowstone and the world?
Ooh, that's a good one.
I like my little things.
I know you do. Why do you think I gave them to you?
Thank you.
Got to keep the boy happy, and I know what keeps him happy. So we moved on from the Badlands. We went to Mount Rushmore, and you have your 2 monuments there, and it was amazing. You can go and do tours, but they say allow for an hour and a half. We basically felt we didn't need to do a tour. We showed up and there it is, and you're seeing it, and you're just like, wow, standing underneath it, and it's towering over you. And then you also have the Crazy Horse Memorial, which is a tribute to a Native American tribal leader. And so he's laying down here, and it's really neat because that monument, actually there's a mountain where Eric's family camp is in Maine, and it reminds me of the Indian laying down this mountain in Maine as the monument there in South Dakota. So it was really cool. And then you can go over to Custer State Park. It's only 45 minutes away from Mount Rushmore area there. So you can go over and do a drive and everything, and go in and go through the state park and really enjoy. They have at Mount Rushmore the presidential trail that you can go on. So there's a lot of hiking activities and a lot of outdoor, and the scenery and the viewing opportunities are just amazing. So we love that. And then we had moved on to Glacier National Park in Montana, and that was fun. I got there, and there was no speed limit. So Eric was sleeping, and the sunroof is open, and the wheels are just flying around on the bikes, the mountain bikes on top of the car, and he's sleeping, and I saw a cop, and the immediate reaction to seeing a cop is to slam on the brakes. But again, there's no speeding limit, so it didn't matter. But I was going 100, which was very irresponsible, and I don't drive like that anymore, thank God. But anyway, it was like, when in Rome, try something. So I was just giving it a go. And next thing you know, by me slamming on the brakes, Eric kind of lunged forward out of his slumber and woke up and started started questioning me and what was going on. And I said, don't worry, we're making great time. Go back to sleep. You know, I'll take care of the driving. So anyway, so he was a little reluctant to not monitor my driving after that. So now let's get on to our appetizers for the evening. So we have the grilled mini sweet peppers, and it's with the goat cheese. And so what I did is you use 4 ounces of the goat cheese, and I decided after doing the kind of the labor-intensive seed situation with the drinks that I'd wise up and use my magic bullet. So you're supposed to actually sprinkle thyme and rosemary, or you could use fresh basil on top of the goat cheese, but I wanted to mix it in and soften up the goat cheese and get that flavor into the goat cheese. So what I did is I used my magic bullet and got that all in there, and looks like this. And then I had grilled my peppers, my mini peppers, slice them in half, take out the seeds and the ribs, and then face them down. You can brush them with olive oil, put them on the grill, and just, I had done them on a grill pan inside today because we were going to have threatening rain, which actually never came. But when I was ready to go out and grill, they looked like it was going to happen. So I grilled inside on my grill pan, and I've got the peppers right here. And I started adding some of the goat cheese to them. But you go ahead and you just fill it. After you grill the peppers, you just put the goat cheese inside. And you want to keep the goat cheese out so it's nice and soft to work with. And then you can throw salt and pepper on the peppers when you grill them. And then you can do the salt flakes. They're actually smoked sea salt flakes. And I didn't find any smoke, so I just used regular sea flakes, which is interesting. It adds a very coarse texture to everything, very, very crunchy. But I like simple and fast appetizers. Keep it simple, nothing majorly fancy. And these are crowd pleasers. They're so flavorful, and they're nice in the summer because they're light and not so heavy. And people really enjoy them. What's everybody snacking on tonight? Let me know what you're doing. Did we have anybody who's been out to these locations?
Celeste wants to know, if you don't like goat cheese, what can you use instead?
I would say, I'm trying to think of a soft cheese that you could use. Yeah, maybe a feta might be an alternative to the goat cheese.
Or cream cheese or Munster, or maybe a...
Yeah, cream cheese would be better.
A veggie cream cheese?
No, I would just do the whipped, or I would do, the whipped cream cheese, because that would be easy to get the herbs into it, and then you wouldn't have to deal with the goat cheese. Yeah, I was thinking about it because one of my aunts is not a goat cheese fan, and there's quite a few people that don't care for goat cheese. We've been doing the keto diet, so it's one of the cheeses that we've been using, and we've been growing fresh chives. It's funny, last Friday after we did our show, Eric and I were watching a Netflix series, and next thing you know, we both went for a break to go to the lavatory, and next thing you know, we look out, and Eric is in a different lavatory than myself, and we both have the windows open, and there's a bear in our yard. He had come like the night before, and our dog scared him off in the middle of the night. He was trying to get at a bird feeder that Eric had put out. Eric thought it was past the time that the bears are mulling around looking for food and everything. So he put this bird feeder out, of which it took it off the tree and made this massive pile in our yard. And next thing you know, he was scared off. So there's still this huge pile of birdseed. And Eric's like, no, bear knocked that off. He would have eaten the pile of birdseed. I said, well, maybe the dog scared him off because the dog was going nuts. Next thing you know, he sees this dark object out in the yard where they have black bears in like Jackson Hole area and over in Yellowstone and everything. This was a brown bear. Anyway, we couldn't quite tell how big he was. Next thing you know, it was a bear, and then he came up and because the feeder had been moved and it was up near our sliding glass door of the house, he came up to get that. He dragged the feeder off into the woods to have his way with it. And Eric's like, oh no, he's terrorizing my bird feeder. And we didn't care. It came with the house and it was older than sin. And Eric just discovered it from cleaning out the garage. So we'd never even used it. So who could, care less? So anyway, the bear takes it out there, and surprisingly enough, he didn't injure it, but he got what he wanted out there. Then he came back up again, and he was searching around for what had fallen out when he dragged it. So he's so close to us, and we're sitting there enjoying him. And we had just put in a camera that we got for Christmas, and we're thinking, great, we're getting great footage of this bear. Lights on him and spotlights on him. We're getting great footage, and next thing you know, Eric checks the footage later, and we were out of memory. You had to clear out the old stuff, and he hadn't done it. And I mean, because we'd not had any activity, out there except for the neighbor's dog that wanders over once in a blue moon. So anyway, we didn't get to see the bear other than seeing him ourselves personally up close, and we did get a great shot of him. So that was a lot of fun. Oh yeah, Eric wants to show you this. My mother was so scared of the bears and saying we needed to protect ourselves. This is actually bear mace spray that we bought on our trip. And why we still have it is crazy. I'm not sure, because I highly doubt it works. And nor would I ever probably take it with me hiking. So anyway, but maybe I'll pass it along to my mother and she could use it on her next hike. What's that? Yeah. So anyway, let's do another travel trivia.
Travel trivia.
What round are we on, Eric? 3?
We are round number 3.
Yep.
So 3 alone, or 3, 4, and none, or just on 3. Number 3. How many states border Yellowstone National Park? And you have to add in, what are they? How many states border Yellowstone Park, and what are they? Another 3. Glacier Park has plenty of gorgeous mountains, scenery to go around. Speaking of mountains, and there's 175 of them in the park. Which is the highest mountain in the park? Is it A, Grinnell Peak, B, Mount Gould, C, Mount Jackson, or D, where'd you come from? Mount Cleveland.
Oh, Cleveland!
Oh.
Cleveland rocks!
Glacier National Park has gorgeous mountain scenery to go around. Speaking of mountains, there is 175 of them in the park. Which one is the highest? Grinnell Peak, Mount Gould, Mount Jackson, or Mount Cleveland?
There you have it. Thank you, Eric.
Thank you.
So we moved on in our travels. We did Montana, we did Glacier National Park, and Glacier National Park is just absolutely breathtaking. And to go out on the lake there and to fish is lots of fun. You can rent a boat and go out, and we had such a splendid time. And I used to fish as a kid, but really hadn't since then, and really enjoyed it. It was relaxing and had a lot of fun with it. Then we went on to Jackson Hole. We did Yellowstone as well, and Yellowstone to go through and see all the different geysers and all the rangers and the different tours that you can do is just unbelievable. I was saddened because back in the 80s when they had the massive fires, it's very still much there today. And so, and again, that's been a while since I was there, but at that time that I was there, it was still very prominent and sad. It was just sad to see how slowly that growth is taking to come back. So then we ventured on to Jackson Hole and the Grand Tetons, which were unbelievable. We went to an outdoor festival in the Grand Tetons, and you can take the chairlift up to the top and see the Tetons. Not that you couldn't see them from the bottom, but they were right in your face when you got to the top. And then you could hear the music echoing up, and people were mountain biking. And I said to Eric, I'm like, yeah, you're going to go mountain biking? And he's looking at these guys going straight up the hill. And he's like, well, maybe I'll just sit back and watch for a little bit and kind of monitor and see how it goes. And then it was funny because, like I said, we were living in Key West, Florida at the time. And there was a guy there, a vendor at the concert, who is the falafel guy. And he had his own little bus and made falafels, and he would spend his winters in Key West. So we knew him just from being around when you would walk around doing touristy things with out-of-towners that would come visit. We would see him and everything. And once in a while, we'd stop in to have a falafel. So he was there. So that was really funny because you know, bumping into someone you knew, and that was interesting, way out in the middle of nowhere. So we had a lot of fun with that.
So Les wants to know what time of year we were there.
We were there probably July, I would say.
I think it was.
Yeah.
Early July.
Yeah.
The whole month of July.
Yeah, we went for several weeks and took our time and just really had wonderful adventures and lots of fun. And I was so glad that I did stay in the car and make it out there instead of getting on the plane and aborting the mission.
Going to Vegas.
Going to the Vegas and told Eric to pick me up on his way home. Just swing into Vegas because that was convenient. And, you know, so I told him, yeah, all right. So we're in Jackson Hole, and they have a whole square there, a downtown square. And we go into this bar, and we're sitting there, and we're making friends with the locals. And we meet this girl, and we were talking with her, and next thing you know, she starts talking to us about a friend of hers who does guided tours at Yellowstone, and that he could take us to go fly fishing, and neither of us had ever done fly fishing before. So we're like, okay, that'd be great. And she's like, well, let me call him. So she calls him from the bar. He comes to the bar. We meet him, and next thing you know, we're staying at a B&B. He's like, yeah, we got to get up because we got to be there. So we're getting up at like 4 in the morning, and I'm like, 4 in the morning, and I'd had cocktails and was like, if that's the case, I gotta go home right now and go to bed because 4 in the morning, even on a good day, I'm not getting up at 4 in the morning. You know, I'm on vacation. What are you talking about? So anyway, so we make it home. He takes us out. We're out there. We forgot cameras. It was amazing. We saw this moose. He buried his head down in the grass, and he pulls his head out, and all the water is pouring off of his rack. And he's eating the grass, and the visual is right here. I hate the day that I lose my memory, but it's all right here for right now because we didn't have a camera. So we were enjoying it, and bald eagles are going over, and we were seeing bear that day. I mean, we were seeing it all, but so we're on the boat, and there's a technique. There is a specific technique for fly fishing. It's actually an art form, and I didn't have it. Eric had it. Eric was beautiful. He was pulling, and he's going, and he's casting, and it's touching, and it's coming back. And not me, but I was catching the fish, and he wasn't. He actually hooked the guide. He hooked either the guide or himself or somebody in the boat. It was the 3 of us. It wasn't me. He either hooked himself or the guide. Next thing you know, he wasn't doing so well with the fly fishing, where I kept catching fish, and he kept accusing me of catching the same fish because it was tag and release. But anyway, he is now a better angler and has really come about from that situation. And we have a fly fishing rod now, and we've done it not as often as I like, so it's time to get back out there and try it. We have some rivers here that we could probably try it on and get out and about. So we had a wonderful time. Jackson Hole is wonderful. Once you're on the square, you're in there, you're in the bar. They've got saddle seats, like you're sitting on a horse at the bar and in the saloons, and next thing you know, there's an outbreak outside, and it's just crazy. So we will let you know more about that as you give me a call. But Eric's going to do the final.
Did you show off your creation?
Final creation, garnished with rosemary. And it's got I did the thyme and the rosemary mixed in with the goat cheese, but you could just do cream cheese. Do soft cream cheese is what I suggest. Grill your mini sweet peppers. Ooh. And it is delicious. So we're going to do our final round of travel trivia. And then we're going to do the answers as well as the bonus.
All right, final round, bonus, then answers. All right, you guys got to put your thinking caps on.
And I'm telling you, these margaritas are delicious.
Mine disappeared. But anyway, it's delicious. Round number 4. What is the fastest mammal in Yellowstone? What is the fastest mammal in Yellowstone?
We're going to give you a hint.
Next question.
No, you got to read them.
Oh, you have a choice.
You have choices.
A, B, C, or D. Pick A, B, C, or D. All right, I'll tell you what they are. A pronghorn. B, a bison. C, a grizzly bear. Or D, a mountain lion.
Eric likes the bison. He likes to call them Tatonkas.
Tatonkas.
And they post signs everywhere, that they will charge and that they will gore you, and people don't listen.
Yeah, there's a lady just got it. What is the fastest mammal in Yellowstone? A pronghorn, a bison, a grizzly bear, or a mountain lion? Next question. What was the world's first national park? What is the world's first national park? And then the bonus question, in case we've got tiebreakers on 1, 2, 3, and 4. Bonus question is, what town square has the longest running shootout since 1955? What town square has the longest running shootout? I can get my gizmo over there. Since 1955. All right. Run them down on the answers?
Yes, please.
All right, here we go. No more answers. Here we go. Number 1. Who are the 4 presidents that make up Mount Rushmore National Memorial? We've got George Washington, Thomas Jefferson, Theodore Roosevelt, and Abraham Lincoln. How many years did it take to construct Mount Rushmore? I saw a lot of answers on this one. It took about 14 years to carve Mount Rushmore. The carving began in 1927 and stopped in 1941. In Glacier National Park, what are Grinnell, St. Mary, Two Medicine, and McDonald? They are lakes. Number 2, or 2 of 2. What is the highest erupting geyser in Yellowstone and the world? The geyser's name is Steamboat Geyser.
Yep.
Glacier National Park has plenty of gorgeous mountain scenery to go around. Speaking of mountains, and there's 175 of them in the park. Which one
Just
is
a couple.
Which one is the highest? The highest is Mount Jackson. How many states border Yellowstone National Park, and what are they? There are 3 states that border the park, and they are Idaho, Montana, and Wyoming. What is the fastest mammal in Yellowstone Park? And it's not the mountain lion. It's not the grizzly bear. It's not the bison.
Which one is it?
It's the pronghorn. What was the world's first national park? That would be Yellowstone. In what town has the longest running shootout since 1955?
I almost blew it.
You did. Jackson Hole.
Jackson Hole. We're sitting in the bar, and next thing you know, we hear all sorts of ruckus outside. And it's a massive shootout, and it happens every night, 365 days of the year. So you'll never miss it. Lots of fun. Thanks for joining me tonight. Had a lot of fun with Travel Light by JJ. I'm Julie Johnston, and that's the name of my business. And I send out an electronic newsletter every other week. And if you'd like to sign up for that, you can go to my website, which is travellightbyjj.com. Thank you so much for joining me. It was a lot of fun, and I'm definitely telling you, I actually might make these drinks again. They are delicious. You have the sweet and the hot. So it's the spicy and the sweetness. It's a really, and it's not too potent either one of those. It's just very smooth. So anyway, that's my disclosure tonight. Thank you so much. Signing off. Have a good one. Have a nice weekend. Bye-bye.